Wednesday, that's next Wednesday, Wednesday the 11th, we'll be showcasing two brilliant young writers, Cheryl Byron and Arthur Flowers. And that will be at the same time, 6:30, right here in the Fine Art Theater 2. The following Wednesday, the 18th, we'll be having Louis Rivera and Zizri Nagapa. That's Wednesday the 18th. And closing out our poetry reading series on Wednesdays, Wednesday the 25th will be Halim Suleiman, who's one of the original last poets, along with Lloyd Henry. Now we may go into tonight's guests, Amity and Amina Baraka. First, Amina Baraka, born and grew up in Newark, New Jersey, active in many forms of the arts, drama, painting, dance. Her first book of poetry was called Songs for the Masses. She's also published in a great many small publications and anthologies. She was a co-editor with her husband Amir Baraka of the book Confirmations, an anthology of American women, 1983, William Morrow Publishers. She's also co-authored the forthcoming collaboration with Professor Baraka called The Music, Reflections on Blues and Jazz. She's also a member of the group Blue Arc, along with Amiri Baraka, Herbie Morgan, sax, Gretchen Moncourt, trombone, Rudy Walker, drums. She and Professor Baraka have also co-authored 5 children. Now, we can extend a warm and gracious welcome to Amina.
Thank you very much. I'm very pleased to have been invited to participate in Black History Month. I want to begin reading with a poem called Slave Trade. And all my poetry is preceded by music in which the poems were written to. This one is Sweet Chariot song. The poem is Slave Trade. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. I looked over Jordan, and what did I see? Coming for to carry me home. A band of angels was coming after me. They were coming to carry me home. They didn't come looking for work. Those pepper and yam people with coconuts and watermelon seeds. They came shackled, covered with blankets of blood. They came trying to return in their dreams. They walked the water and grew wings, trying to go back home. They hid chariots in their songs. They stayed with guns in their backs and blues in their souls and escape in their bones. They were sold like dirt, bought like fertilizer, and their sweat came like rain. And the land grew white with cotton. Their labor made their oppressors king. They didn't stay singing songs and tap dancing and joy of their bondage. They worshiped the night, and they stole away to God. They armed themselves with drums and songs and guides and guns. They lurked around plantations looking for freedom. They didn't drop their heads and scrape their feet. They didn't wait for Abraham. They took their passion and made wars that carried their freedom slogans and signs of promise. Those sun-baked people with their red clay ways came from far and near, sitting their fire and harboring their weapons, in all ways looking for freedom's way. This next piece the next piece is called By Valor and Arms, which is the motto of Mississippi. And this is a poem written for Eddie Carson and Shirley Carson. I don't know if you remember, but in Chula, Mississippi, Eddie Carson was the mayor. He was arrested and murdered. And it turned out he was innocent. But he was arrested because he had been involved in the civil rights movement and had made a lot of trouble for the powers to be. And during the time his trial was going on, I wrote a poem called By Valor and Arms. Go down, Moses, way down in Egypt's land. Tell old Pharaoh, I said, let my people go. Deep down colored Mississippi. Lynch us no more, Confederate soldier, let my people go. Don't you water your cotton fields with our babies, don't you blacken your magnolia trees with our charred bones. Let your mockingbirds sing odes of freedom, throw your slave history in the Tallahatchie River. Chop down your hanging trees, burn your hate, strangle your races, unchain your loyal hands. Promise your living you will kill no more, outlaw your clan. Know your enemies wear hoods of bigotry. Let freedom drop from your pecan trees. Help give birth to a democratic South. Do what you must, old man river filled with black blood. My people will die no more. We will die no more to fertilize your greed. Let those who love money more than life die where they stand. Let all who want justice step forth and lead integrated armies against thieves and murderers. Long river Mississippi, don't you weep for me. We will not stop. We want freedom's harvest. Oh, miss, you gonna have to let my people go. This is called Afro-American Child, and it's done to a great American musician, wrote American classical music called Duke Ellington. The song is A Train. Do, 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 dee, da. Do, 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 dee, do, dee, da. Well, anyway, it says, take the A train, we'll drop you off in Harlem. Growing up in the web of colored people, people who had to contend every day of their lives, people who create both the gospel and the blues, and did. People who could pray and cuss, and did. People who could sing and dance, and did. People who joined unions, fought picket lines, and always told us, don't give what you can't take, and don't let nobody treat you like a toy, and we did. Growing up with women holding a bottle full of snuff, cleaning collard greens, spitting in a lard can. Growing up with men wearing work clothes and work hats and taking baths before they sat down to hot biscuits and Alaga syrup. Growing up with women standing over the stove frying chicken with one hand on the small of their back. Growing up with men driving trailer trucks in front of the window to holler at my mama. Growing up with Joe Louis being the champ, Lena Horne singing Stormy Weather, Duke Ellington taking the A train, Billie Holiday crying Ain't Nobody's Business, and Lionel Hampton flying home. Growing up with women making hot hats and shouting in church on Sundays and screaming over Billy Eckstein the rest of the time. Growing up being Baby Ruth's daughter and seeing multi-colors of women sitting in long straight rows and children with keys around their necks. do construction work and lunch making. Growing up with Charlie Parker and old folks betting on the Dodgers and Sugar Ray Robinson, and everybody I knew was a Democrat. Growing up with women doing their hair and wearing red box stockings and raspberry lipstick. Growing up with men in bold striped suits and big country hats. Growing up with women bragging about their children looking just like their daddy and the man he done been gone. Growing up with men pointing out their sons to others and saying the girl children look just like their mama. Growing up with the young people's choir, Philip Marlowe, the Thin Man, Bogart, and not knowing Paul Rose. Growing up with women going food shopping and men fixing and cleaning their cars on Saturdays. Growing up with army blankets thrown on parquet tables and women selling hog balls and chili dinner. Growing up when your left eye jumped, it was bad luck. If your hand itched, you was to get some money, and something told us to follow our line. Growing up with women and men daring their sons and daughters to join street gangs and sermons about getting hooked on dope. Growing up with people wailing over death and lots of gospel singing at home after funerals. Growing up listening to family legends and tales about how we came north and ghost stories. Growing up when Sula lived around the corner and Janie could be seen coming back home on any Monday evening without chick nor child and wild stories about love and travel. Growing up with the devil beating his wife when it rained while the sun shined, and ice water was always kept in a jar in the refrigerator. Growing up with lots of colored people, sitting on porches and stoops and hanging out the windows all at the same time. Growing up when people drank lemonade in a place of tea. Biscuits replaced light bread and cornbread got to be somebody's nickname. Growing up taking baths in a tin tub and buying coals for the stove. Growing up roasting goober nuts and never being allowed to eat the last piece of watermelon, the chicken breast, or the dark meat of the turkey. Growing up paying a bill at Nat's grocery store and collecting soda bottles to buy candy at the coloring store. Growing up taking Sunday rides in rich people's neighborhoods, looking at what beautiful houses and lawns and trees they had. Growing up without civil rights and having to march with King, full well knowing we can never turn the other cheek. Growing up with women watching their daughters suffer, married, unmarried, and trying to raise children, find work, while watching their boys killed, taken away to jail, and me go fight other people's wars. Growing up with Rosa Parks, Fannie Lou Hamer, and Gloria Richardson. Growing up with men that came from war shell shock and dope addicts. Growing up when Christmas and Thanksgiving was the only time we had a chance to be together. Growing up looking at Emmett Till's rich body and jet and wondering why the Klan is a legal organization in America. Growing up with mountains, loving my people, and rebellions that allowed us to get jobs, go to school, and continue to survive. Growing up in a hidden, yet open, of a particular color and class of people oppressed by imperialism. Growing up in the era of imperialism and proletarian revolution. Thank you. Being colored, and it's done to stormy weather. Don't know why. Ain't no gonna be the sky. Somewhere weather. Me and my man, we can keep together. Say it keeps on raining all the time. On one of those days, after the sun rained over ghetto streets, leaving a rainbow in the air, where bars grew off the pavement on every corner, where folks sat and stood around, mostly men, talking legends and threatening to kill their enemies. Dogs roamed the streets, and their barks seldom could be heard over the people's music that came from their windows, and their flute songs and rhythms and walks and talks. Tired Their mothers were the street prizes, high, brown, black women, with a sailor and later married truck drivers. They could wear Carmen Jones dresses like Kenny Clark. They would compete in old ladies talk about who looked the most like Nina Horn. And of course, the young girls with the high, brown, black ones were much like their mothers, who were said to have outshined the stars they could rock sin to sleep with their songs, which they no longer sang now that they had found God and married a big, dark construction worker who played poker and always hated the church and still sang the blues on one of those days. When the wind carried the heat and you could almost taste the sun on one of those days is the possibility of anything. Anything can happen. Can you imagine anything can happen in their lives except steady work and justice? This one is called Dirge for the Lynch. Go till it on the mound, over the hill, in every way, go till it on the mound. Hanging from a tree, dead hair, dead scalp, dead eyes, dead nose, dead mouth, dead ears, dead neck, dead shoulders, dead arms, dead torso, dead legs, dead feet, dead muscle, dead tissue, dead blood, dead skin hanging from a tree, dead black bone hanging from a tree, tarred and feathered, beaten and tortured, lynched black people hanging from a tree. Now when they come, wearing their red, white, and blue, blowing their bugles to fight their wars, let's take their flag and burn it from a tree. And when they say we are not patriotic, let's remind them of all the black bodies hanging from their trees. This one is called Will the Proletariat Take the Lead in Cultural Work? And this poem is very old. It was written, I think, in 79 or 80. But I'd like to dedicate this poem to genuine people who want to fight against racism and Howard Beach and across America. Because I hate to point to Howard Beach. You know, racism is part of the whole fabric of American society. This is called Will the Proletariat, which is the working class, please take the lead in cultural work. It is done to the refrain and the International. It says, "'Tis the final conflict. Let us each stand in place. The international working class will be the human race." Will the rainbow poets come forward and write me, us, a line? Will black men, women, workers please come forward and tell us what it's like to be 2 times, 3 times oppressed, to be black, to be a worker, to be a woman? Will the different hues of black scream? Will the different hues of black scream us out of him about wage slavery, unemployment, and national oppression? We don't need no more poems about mysticism. There's nothing mystical about who owns this shit. Rockefeller, DuPont, Morgan, Mellon, and families. It can be explained. It's a matter of searching, proving this shit like the world was proven to be round. Will the prayers get off their knees, stand on their feet, carry out investigation, and then speak? Will black workers please Write us a poem. Will white workers, men, women, come forward and tell labor's untold story? Will you write about the blood you shed in the USA building union? Will you strum us a song about how and why you stood up for and died with your colored comrades? We don't need no poems about walking along the sea. The bourgeoisie owns the sea. We need songs and true stories about how we're going to take the sea when we take the land. Will white workers please sing that song? Will Native Americans step forward? Will you chant us a line or two? Will you tell why the war is not over? Will you explain Wounded Knee? Will you tell about genocide and reservations? They're not separate stories. They can be sung to the same tune. Can you tell us all about the savages who stole your land? We need to understand all the aspects of national oppression. We need war dancers. You could deal a heavy blow to the disco Native Americans. Send us a new smoke signal. Write us a poem. Will the Mexican American say Chicano serenade us with a poem? Please step forward. Tell us about the Mexican American Wars. Explain the land divisions. Talk about how the southwest of the USA got taken. Talk to us about the peasants, the uprisings. Tell us about the brown people and national oppression. Hey, Chicano man, woman, will you do that? Will the Puerto Rican workers living in the USA, men, women, beat us out a poem? Tell us how dreams are exploited in the USA. Tell about how 1/3 of the women in Puerto Rico are sterilized. Will you please tell us about U.S. investments in Puerto Rico? We need Latin rhythms fighting for national liberation of Puerto Rico. We need poems with machete edges. Will Asian Americans come forward? Men, women, with a poem, a story, a song will do. Explaining the concentration camps in the U.S. during World War II. Can we get a word on the racism and the trains that rolled over bloody tracks? Can we hear about that? We all need to know. Will the workers and oppressed nationalities, will all oppressed people in the USA please come forward one by one, then all together? And flood the country with the rhythms of your lives. Will you light up the world? Will you set this country afire with your songs? We need to hear about ourselves. We need to hear from ourselves. We are in direct opposition to the bourgeoisie. We need to thoroughly understand that. Literature based on that contradiction will help set us free. It will help forge your party. Will the rainbow poets please come forward and poet for us? The poem is called Soweto Song, and it's obviously an anti-apartheid piece. Whoa, 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 whoa. I come from the womb of Africa. To praise my black diamond, to shine my black gold, to fight my people's enemies, to stand on my ancestors' shoulders, to dance in the hurricane of revolution. Soweto, Soweto, Soweto. I come with my hammer and sickle. I come with bullets for my gun to fire on my enemies. To stab the savages that sucked my breast, to kill the beasts that raped my belly. I come painted red in my people's blood. To dance on the wind of the storm, to help sing those freedom songs. Soweto, Soweto, Soweto. I come to carve monuments in the image of my people. I come to uphold the flag of freedom. I come to bring my tears to wash your wounds. I come to avenge slavery. I come to claim my blood ties. I come to help free my people. Soweto, Soweto, Soweto. I come to hide in your clouds so I can be in the thunder. I come to work black magic. I come to burn out the eyes of imperialism. I come to chop off its head. I come to carry out my duty. I come to stand with my people. Soweto, Soweto, last word is done to the Negro national anthem. I should say the Afro-American national anthem. Lift every voice and sing, let heaven and earth sing. I'd rather my fist be made of steel than my heel made of iron. I'd rather water the earth with my tears and lose feeling. I'd rather walk than ride the backs of workers. I'd rather die fighting than live slaving. I'd rather be criticized for protest poetry than write lines indifferent to my people. Leave me to my propaganda. Let my songs call for freedom. Turn down my manuscript, poem after poem, tell me how repetitious. The word oppression is used too much. I'd rather complain than say nothing at all. I hope my last words call for revolution. I'd rather my pen be at least as mighty as the sword. Thank you.
Two Wednesdays, that's Wednesday the 18th and Wednesday the 25th, they'll be held in the Union in room 226. Very quickly, I'd also like to remind you that tomorrow at 1 p.m. in room 231 in the Union, there'll be a panel discussion on affirmative action in the Black liberation movement, and that's something that we like to have a large participation in and raise some very pertinent questions once again into a 5-minute intercession. Now we'll have the second half of tonight's poetry reading, and that'll be by Mary Rock, a person who will tell you a little bit about her. Besides being the Director of Africana Studies Department here at Stony Brook, he's also a poet, playwright, political activist, author of innumerable books. His latest musical, One-Beat opera with music by Max Roach is scheduled to be produced at NYU in September. If you all could just give a warm welcome to Professor Rock.
Thank you very much. The theme of our Black History Month this year is without struggle there's no progress and death to apartheid. Those are things we have to remember. Also, we are family, and we heard yesterday that one of our family, Fred Dubé, has been dealt a foul blow by the erstwhile chancellor who was making $89,000 a year as a chancellor. Now he's making $500,000 a year as head of the TIAA. So somebody must have made him an offer he could not refuse, I guess, because he's gone from here. But what they said, in effect, is that Dubé has got tenure every place but Stony Brook. So you can figure that out. You can figure out anything, creation and everything. They said that he can get a tenure at any of the in the system, any school in the SUNY system, 4-year school, but he can't be at Stony Brook. So you figure that out. If you can figure that out, well, talk to Marburg and find out if he can figure it out. I'm going to read some poems, and I hope you will come out to our Black History Month. Black students, obviously, white students, definitely you need it. Probably worse than we do. The question is the question of consciousness. Without struggle, there is no progress. Death to apartheid. I want to read some poems from different recent collections. This first one is called The Mind of the President, which is after something I read in the New York Times. I didn't even know that, he had a mind, but the New York Times, since they mentioned it with such, conviction, I figured it must be happening, It's called The Mind of the President. Kill. This is called linguistics. If you ever call my house, talk about why your paper's incomplete or something like that, you'll get this on the box. In the United States, apartheid was called Jim Crow. So much for the American way. I'm going to read a couple of poems from a long thing I'm working on called Wise, which is WHY''S/WISE. It occurred to me that if you ask enough whys, you might get why. This is a long poem about African American history. I've written maybe about 30 or 40 pieces of it. Read some of the early ones and the later ones. This has music with it. This piece is a question we ask when people used to tell us we were militant. We say, we're militant. What do you think our parents, our great-great-great-parents must have felt when they got here to these shores? I asked this trombone player one time, and he said, nobody knows the trouble I see. Wise. One. If you ever find yourself somewhere, lost and surrounded by enemies who won't let you speak in your own language, who destroy your statues and instruments, who ban your boom, ba-boom, then you're in trouble, deep trouble. They ban your boom, ba-boom, you in deep trouble. Probably take you several hundred years to get out. Skip to Wise 3. And the music was Gratian Moncourt's Hypnosis. Son singing, found some words. Son singing in that other language, talking about, baby, why you leave me here? Talking about up under the sun, cotton in my hand, son singing, think he bad, cause he can speak they language. Talking about dark was the night, the ocean deep, white eyes come through me, made me weak. Son singing, found some words, think he bad, speak they language. It's all right, I say. It's all right with me. Look like, yeah, we're gonna be here in a taste. Wise. Oh, let me skip around. I'm just doing that to keep myself interested. Skipping around. That's why I skip around like that. Let me read something around the time of Reconstruction. This is the Lightning Hopkins Blues, black folks. This one right after Reconstruction. From the country to the city, we left where things were pretty to get away from the Klansmen and race freaks who hung with the slave master's cause. who could not believe in democracy, who could not let life be beautiful, who howled moon shadows screaming for the primitive, who climbed the trees for past centuries, hollering for caves and blood. From the country to the city, we left where things were pretty. Got city life, got city bread, wanted rights and services. Get to that, we thought. When all the time it could have been better. When all the time new could have been, built could have been, progress could have been, and all the great notes of peace. All the great notes of peace, all that could have been. Wise 9, heavy spiritual. Our war was for liberation to end slave times. Now war is over, we free, they say. Who they who say what free gon' be? There are cities we can go to, there are cities of light and doing. So what these faces, laws hover, these swine, win, law, death, people, these death time rebs return to crow, these slave master corpse leap off the floor, these sheep-faced coward monster hates, these death word carriers and slave lovers. There was war before, we war again, died before, we'll die again, but not gonna die, not gonna leave, not gonna cry too long, not gonna grieve. Free is who we are and be, love who what will lift us be. Struggle, love, struggle against primitive death while you walking around, spirit death, tie you down, slave death and servant death, and let me work for us to be. Wise 10, spiritual with terror. So in 1877 the lie grew. We all knew the heart dead, the lie instead. They talked blood, they put on hoods, they paid for murder, they closed the books. No democracy, no light, primitive times return. Across the road, the horsemen proud. American guns for African American lives. You'll never vote. You'll never grow. You'll never, never, never be free. Never be free. Never be free. Never, never, never. Into Booker T. The last thing I'm going to read from Wise is called, is that what it's called? Why Don't You Fight? I think it's called. If I can find it, it will be called Why Don't You Fight? This is a later, this is a what? Piece number 40 something. 31, no, it's 36. Black, brown, and beige. Ba da 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 da. Boom, 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 boom. For years we could not speak nor go out as far as we were. Africa. Some angels flying, voodoo heaven, land of the real Guineas. Why Sicilians bear that name and feel insulted. The brevity of all this pain and happy being, focus zigzagged, blue, purple, and so much sky. Read the book. Play the piano. Beasts cry with human tongues. Beauty a tragic contrast. Emancipation was a rooming house run by strangers with punctured necks. The ghosts we thought would eat us, ate us. Dazed by relief and slave ship lag, language was sparked, singing blackness, critics chill. I think that darkness in which the slaves were held, box-lunched, monstrous sadness, is fire in stone. Are you a monster you hide from the sun? Chain-brained, murderer prop, know that a song could be meat enough laughing and dancing. Hallway logic, I ain't magic. New people like me, where they end up. Nothing I say can give you my feeling. History is numbers, positions. What you see now, hoped you loved something. But being outside gives you perspective. I am the missing link. This sad society, pornography rocket. Your deaths now, sure to be comic, no longer led by even the abstractly wise, not even a champion vampire, the jug factor, ice pick in your bleeding brain. You've heard the poets, felt Jacob Lawrence and Riviera, understand the sheer angle of rushing pleasure, smile, learn the spin inside Puente's pop, Blue horizon in train. Animals should not be running our lives. I want a human chance. Your house stinks. Dead things with bloody bones collect around your thinking. The poor, the smashed, slaves, ignorant gods, static ideas like money brand us all as jungle bunnies, blinking at the sun, tormented by volcanoes and earthquakes, depressed with colds and arthritis, wiped out by incredible idiocy, starvation, drought, greedy primates. No, it's a stupid world you've made, an ugly one. If I did not fall in love with beauty, I'd be cooler. The year, the state, the lie, the newspaper. As an exclamation point, think of music as the only soul God could have. Singing slaves, the slaves singing. They sing Africa Scat Spiritual Blues Rag Swing. They want tomorrow, lost yesterday, pain today. Singing slaves, the slaves singing. They sing, hey baby, knock me a kiss. See light there, see light, heaven, fire, reality described, singing, the slaves singing, singing slaves, they sing, but cooler heart, new avant funk, the slaves singing, religious history, air and pain and struggle there, the slaves singing, singing, singing. This is a poem about John Coltrane called Amtrak. And there's two pieces of music in this. The first one is by Thelonious Monk called Misterioso. And the second one is Afro Blue, which is Train. Misterioso goes dong 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 bong 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 bong. Train. Train. History, love, scream, oh, train, oh, train, oh, train, scream, history, love, train. Begin on by a Philly nightclub or the basement of a colored church. Walk the bars, my man, for pay. Hump the night lust of money. Oh, blow, scream, history, love. Rabbit, clean head, diz, big Maybell trees in the shining night forest. Oh, blow, love, history. Alcohol, we submit to thee. 3 X's consume our lives. Our livers quiver under your poison hits. Eyes roll back in stupidness. The Navy, the Lord, niggas, the streets all converge. A shitty symphony of screams to come. Dazzled invective, honk, honk, honk. I am here to love it. Let me be fire, mystery, air, feeder, beauty. Honk, oh, scream, Miles comes. Hit band, all right. Sum up life in the slick street part of the world. Oh, blow if you could, nigga, man. Miles would stand back and negative check. Oh, he dug him, Train, but Train clawed at the limits of cool, slandered sanity with his trying to be born raging shit. Oh, blow, you ain't gonna do it, huh? Scream, yeah, history, love, blue clip moments of intense feeling. Train, you blows too long. Screaming niggas drop out of your solos. Bohemian Nights, the heavyweight champ, smacked him in the face. His eyes sagged like a spent dick. Hot vows escaped the metal clone of his soul. Fucking saxophone, tell us, shit, tell us, tell us. There was nothing left to do but be where Monk could find him, that crazy motherfucker. Don 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 don. Can you play this shit? Life asks. Come by and listen. And at the 5 spot, Bach, mulatto-ass Beethoven, and even Duke has given America its hip tongue checked. Train, stood, and dug crazy Monk shit. Street gospel, intellectual, mystical survival codes, intellectual street gospel funk modes, tickling put-downs of dumb shit, pink, pick-a-boo, bamboo, no air breath. Oh, I am here, why ain't it? Who is you are? Monk shit. Blue Cooper 5 spot. Was the world busting on piano, bass, drums, and tenor? This was Coltrane's college, a PH motherfucking D, sitting at the feet, elbows, and funny grin of Master T. Sphere. Too cool to be a genius, he was instead Thelonious, with Comrade Shadow on tubs, Lyric Wilbur who hipped us to electric futures, and the monster with the horn. Dee 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 da 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 da. From the endless sessions, the money lord hovers over us. Capitalism beats our ass. Dope and juice won't change it. Train, blow, scream, yeah, anyway. There then came down in the ugly streets of us, inside the head and tongue of us, a man, black blower of the now, the vectors from all sources, slavery, Renaissance, Bach, Charlie Parker, nigger, absolute super saiyan screams against reality course through him as sound. Yes, it says, this is now in you screaming, recognize the truth, recognize reality, and even check me, train who blows it. Yes, it says, yes, and yes again, convulsive, multi-orgasmic, art, protest. And finally, brother, you were, are we gathered to dig this? Electric wind find us finally on red records of the history of ourselves. The cadre came together. The inimitable four who blew the pulse of then exact, the flame, the confusion, the love of whatever the fuck there was to love. Yes, it says, blow, oh, honk, scream, boy, wee! Train was the spirit of the 60s. He was Malcolm X and new Superbuck fire. Boy, wee! Black art, love, history on the bar tops of Philly, in the monkish college of Express, in the cool grottos of Miles Davis, funny timery. Be reality, alive, emotion and flame to change. You know it to change. All you reactionaries listening, fuck you, kill you, get out of here. Jimmy Garrison bass, McCoy Tyner piano, Captain Marvel Elvin on the drums, the number itself, the precise saying, all of it in it, a fire, a flame, talking, saying, being, doing, meaning, meditations, expressions, a love supreme. I lay in solitary confinement, July '67, tanks rolling through Newark, and whistled all I knew of Train, my knowledge heartbeat. And he was dead, they said. And yet, last night I played Meditations, and it told me what to do. Live, you crazy motherfucker, live and organize your shit as rightly burning. Thank you very much. I want to finish, according to my watch, I want to finish with another poem to Ronnie Reagan, you know, because he has done so much damage to us with his backward, ignorant self. I want to read this poem to him. It's called How to Beat Reagan. And this is not just literature. You got to use this one. You always do this to Duke Ellington's Things Ain't What They Used to Be. Da 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 da, bum bum boom boom boom, ba da ba da ba da, bum. How to Beat Reagan. Connect Reagan gestures to specific dumb movies. His artificial dead thing hair is a picture of his artificial dead thing mind. When he grins, talk about Bonzo. When he asks, when he lies, ask, where's the rest of you? When he panders to public ignorance, educate the people. We need special anti-Reagan issues of our magazines. Special anti-Reagan blues and jazz sessions and themes, normal anti-Reagan cocktail parties and special ones as well. Anti-Reagan songs and anti-Reagan dances. Sponsor contests for the best anti-Reagan jokes. Give out prizes to the funniest anti-Reagan quotes. Develop anti-Reagan walks. Give a long series of anti-Reagan talks. Some anti-Reagan dishes you progressive cooks, gourmets, and culinary anthropologists must reveal. In fact, you famous chefs, develop anti-Reagan meals. We need anti-Reagan agendas and anti-Reagan retreats. Give anti-Reagan names to our pets and anti-Reagan names to our streets. Write anti-Reagan plays, hold anti-Reagan days. You want to live? You want real life? Start an anti-Reagan craze. But this is serious. We're not delirious. We want to live. We want our families, our wives, husbands, and children to live too. The name of life in 1984 is anti-Reagan. The name of beauty, we squat near Big Brother's door, yes, 1984 is anti-Reagan. Let us mobilize each other, let us work, let us think, let us educate each other, let us fight against Reagan's stink. Anti-Reagan religion and anti-Reagan wrestling, anti-Reagan hors d'oeuvres and anti-Reagan blurbs. Laughter around here is anti-Reagan, and sexual passion is anti-Reagan, and birth and creativity is anti-Reagan. The future is anti-Reagan. Is you, Mr. Boy, want to be man? Is you, Miss Honey, want to be woman? Anti-Reagan. Call all your friends and enemies. They need to be, tell them, anti-Reagan. Look at the sun. It's anti-Reagan. Any useful stuff is anti-Reagan. You understand, it's anti-Reagan. You struggle for land, it's anti-Reagan. You want to be free, it's anti-Reagan. You want to be free, it's anti-Reagan. Self-determination is anti-Reagan. A developing nation is anti-Reagan. You got our line, you're going to hear it all the time. It's anti-Reagan. We criticize Mondale. It's anti-Reagan. We question Jesse. It's anti-Reagan. No way atomic bomb hair. No way embarrassing actor. No way chimp pimp. You babble without him. You are anti-Reagan, Ronnie. The cautious parts of your own mind. Are you crazy? That's why your mind ain't together. That's why we shudder at the Charlie McCarthy lines at the edges of your obscene mouth, squinty cock wearing dead cowboy in the eye. Come in an ice cold wind. Your laughter can be heard at lynchings. Your nervous shrug seen at the White Hood Death Brothers Ball. You want all women to be like Nancy Reagan, and even Nancy Reagan wouldn't be Nancy Reagan if she could safely be anything else. Humanity at the edge of a primitive world. Humanity at the edge of a primitive world poised, just balanced at the crossroads between claws and hands, between beaks and mouths, dangle between gills and lungs, between fur and hair, battling against recontrol of society by ignorant wizards, witch doctors, sorcerers, cannibal magicians who suck on human bones and belch lunch afternoons as they try to memorize their latest script. Weimar, Weimar, one more time. Weimar, Weimar, one more time. Concentration camp, one more time. Oven, one more time. The one where animals suit things and low, nasty animals, thief and murderer animals, racist animals, robber animals, killer animals. The animals is out. The one where American flag be diswrapping, unwrapping, miswrapping. Next station, annihilation, end of planet. But clarity is anti-Reagan. Organization is anti-Reagan. Evolution is anti-Reagan. Democracy is anti-Reagan. Socialist revolution is anti-Reagan. Workers' power is anti-Reagan. Full employment is anti-Reagan. Any sane enjoyment is anti-Reagan. Any genuine intelligence is anti-Reagan. The task is clear. The lines are drawn. Which side are you on? The chanted question, which side are you on? Spirit of the times. Our answer, anti-Reagan. In the flying fortress of all of us, ourselves, the crowd, the songs, the dancing color, ourselves, a festival, a congress, a convention of anti-Reagan. The task is clear. The lines are drawn. Which side are you on? Anti-Reagan, 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 anti-Reagan! Fade to whisper, then scream. The task is clear. The lines are drawn. Our exclamation, which side are you on? The task is clear. The lines are drawn. Our exclamation, which side are you on? The task is clear. The lines are drawn. Our exclamation, which side are you on? The task is clear. The lines are drawn. Our exclamation, which side are you on? Anti-Reagan, 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 anti-Reagan! Thank you. Thank you for all of our Africana Studies faculty and staff. We hope tomorrow, those of you who are interested in affirmative action and the Black Liberation Movement, come out to room 231, the Student Union. Participants, Professor Bruce Hare, Dr. Emil Adams, Dr. Mary Matevier, Dr. G. Michael Bagley, and we in Africana Studies will be there, and students will be there to make sure everything is kept honest and on the up and up. So please help us, because as Du Bois said about affirmative action and democracy, either black people will be admitted into America on the basis of democracy, or America will cease to exist. Thank you very much.